I do maybe 10 to 12 inspections on houses a week. That's pretty average pace for me. When I go into a basement, there's one or two things that I always kind of snicker, am aware of having a problem because of the track history of seeing an issue and then doing the remediation and then discovering that here's the symptom and here's the problem. So when you have a basement and you're even partially remodeling it or finishing it, just be aware that when you put like a lower cabinet against an exterior foundation wall, you really need to make sure that there's a space between the wall and the fixture that you're installing. A classic thing for basements is that you have a lower cabinet that has a sink, and you're putting that in direct contact with your foundation wall. That's a mistake. And what you really want to do is put like 3 coats of a water vapor retardant paint on the foundation wall. I tell people put a sheet of 6 mil plastic on top of the paint, and then put your furring strips or whatever you want to use against that. Don't insulate between the strips, because if any moisture does come through, you need for it to be able to get out. And if you use insulation or anything like that, the whole point of that is to trap air, and you need air to move. You don't want the insulation material to collect moisture and not allow it to breathe out, because then that moisture will bleed into the back of your cabinet and there'll be mold growth and water damage and stuff like that. 3 coats of paint, of water vapor retardant paint, sheet of 6 mil plastic, furring strips, and then you put your fixture against that. You need that inch and a half air gap behind the fixture for it to be able to breathe out. Another thing I want to mention is that if you look below your sink, you're going to have that shelf. And if you have a water release from, say, the piping under the sink, and it goes into that lower shelf, just remember that the shelf that you're looking at is the dry side of that board. The problem is the underside. You need to dry that out quickly within, say, a day or two. So what you do is you remove that kick plate out. You take that out and you put a fan in. That's how you dry it out. If you don't, it's just a sealed cavity, and the water will never dry out, and you'll get gobs and gobs of really furry stuff growing down there. All right, that's sometimes why you open the doors and you can smell something. It's because it's below that shelf. Bennett, Farsight Management. It's better use Farsight than hindsight.